Welcome to Honeybee, real stories of love, lies, and betrayal, where every truth stings. Let's begin. My name is Andrew, and I was engaged to a woman I'll call Victoria. Our wedding was planned for October. The venue reserved, invitations ordered, and she had already moved into my apartment months before everything fell apart. We had been together for 2 years, engaged for 8 months. I believe I knew her well, but I was wrong. What I stumbled upon one night shattered everything I thought I understood about trust, love, and the woman I was about to marry. The truth was, the person I envisioned building a life would have been lying to me the whole time. The worst part? She would walk into our home straight from another man's bed and act as if nothing had happened. This wasn't a one-time slip or a fleeting weakness. It was a deliberate betrayal that stretched on for months. And the entire facade came crumbling down because of a single text notification at 2:17 a.m. Victoria and I first met at a friend's birthday party in 2022. She was witty, intelligent, and our connection was immediate. She worked in HR for a tech company while I managed projects at a construction firm. After a year and a half of dating, I proposed to her at the very restaurant where we'd had our first date. She cried, said yes, and a friend secretly captured photos of the moment. Pictures she later plastered across social media. Her friends celebrated, my family adored her, and everything seemed perfect. By November, it only made sense for her to move in. Her lease was ending, and since we were getting married soon, sharing a home was the next step. She brought her furniture, her plants, her entire life into my place, and we began building a home together. During this time, she once mentioned an old friend named Marcus. They'd known each other since middle school, but lost contact until reconnecting on Facebook shortly after our engagement. Apparently, he saw her engagement photos and decided to reach out. She occasionally brought him up in conversation, but I didn't think much of it. I had female friend myself, and I never saw it as concerning. As the wedding approached, she began going out for girls' nights more frequently, insisting she wanted to spend time with her single friends before tying the knot. Thursdays became their night of choice, which I thought was odd, but she explained that her friends preferred weeknights since weekends were too crowded. I trusted her completely. We were engaged, planning a life together. Why would I doubt her? Looking back now, I realized there were signs I ignored once she moved in. But that's the thing about trust. When you believe in someone, you explain away the red flags. You convince yourself you're being paranoid if you question them. Around January and February, I was taking on extra hours to cover wedding costs. Victoria handled most of the planning, and I was thankful for it. I'd come home exhausted, and she'd either have dinner ready or order food. We'd relax on the couch, talk, and make weekend plans. It all felt normal. The cruel irony is that during the very months I thought we were the closest, she was leading a second life I knew nothing about. One Thursday, I skipped over time and came home early. Victoria claimed she was finishing up work emails and was too tired to go out, so I was happy we'd finally get an evening together. We ordered Chinese food, watched a crime documentary, and spent the night on the couch. Still, she seemed distracted, checking her phone more often than usual. Around 10, she said she had a headache and wanted to sleep, taking some Tylenol before heading to bed. Later, when I joined her, she was already asleep, snoring lightly, phone still glowing in her hand. As I moved it to the nightstand, it buzzed. A message from Marcus popped up, asking if she was still awake. My stomach dropped. I knew I should have just set the phone aside, but something in me urged me to read further. Scrolling through, I discovered weeks of messages, plans to meet, excuses about being too busy, and conversations about needing to be cautious because I had started asking questions. I couldn't breathe. Looking over at her sleeping peacefully, I felt like I didn't even know the woman beside me. The messages revealed everything. While I thought she was having dinner with friends, she was in motel rooms with him. I read how she told Marcus he made her feel better than I ever did. How she admitted to faking intimacy with me, but having real passion with him. The exchanges went back to December, just a month after she moved in. Then came the message that destroyed me completely. She told Marcus she could still feel him inside her while cooking dinner for me. She admitted she'd kissed me goodnight, while still tasting him. I couldn't stop reading. Every message was a knife to the chest. I scrolled through their first meeting, which was supposed to be coffee, but turned into hours in a motel room. I read her comparisons between us, her doubts about the wedding, and her plans to decide between us. By 3 a.m., I had saved screenshots of everything. Lying awake until sunrise, I wrestled with the unbearable truth. This wasn't just cheating. It was calculated, ongoing deceit. Every memory we shared, every smile, every kiss, it all felt poisoned. When she woke up the next morning, everything seemed normal. She kissed me on the forehead, got ready for work, and acted like the devoted fiancée. Watching her put on her makeup, knowing where she'd really been on those girls' nights, made me sick. She even suggested I take a sick day since I looked tired, her concerns sounding genuine. That's what twisted me up the most. How could she seem to care about me while betraying me so deeply? After she left, I stayed home pacing. I considered calling my brother or best friend, but couldn't bring myself to say out loud. I rehearsed what I would say when I confronted her, writing questions and throwing them away, practicing conversations in my head. By evening, I knew I couldn't keep quiet anymore. When Victoria came home, she acted cheerful, having bought groceries to make my favorite stir-fry. She chatted about her day, complaining about her boss, laughing, and talking about how right it felt living together before marriage. That comment almost broke me. I finally told her we needed to talk. The moment I said Marcus's name, the color drained from her face. She collapsed into a chair, unable to stand. I read one of her messages out loud, the one where she admitted lie about work to sleep with him instead. She burst into tears, insisting it wasn't what I thought. But the proof was undeniable. I confronted her with her own words, even showing her a photo of them in bed together. Time-stamped the same night, she told me she was too tired for sex. She sobbed, offered excuses, claimed she didn't mean for it to happen. I called her out, reminding her that booking motel rooms, sending photos, and telling him she loved him weren't accidents. Eventually, she admitted she did love him, but also claimed to love me. I told her love doesn't work that way. She couldn't have both. She begged, promised to end it, swore she'd block him, even offered to quit her job if that's what it took. She insisted we could fix it, go to counseling, rebuild. But I knew the truth. This wasn't a one-time mistake. It was a whole relationship she'd hidden while planning a wedding with me. I told her it was over. The wedding was off. She needed to move out. For the next week, I canceled vendors, called family, and explained everything to my parents, my brother, and my friends. It was humiliating, painful, and expensive. We lost nearly $8,000 in deposits. But that was nothing compared to the cost of marrying someone who had deceived me so completely. Victoria moved out the following Saturday. She left the ring on the counter with a note saying she was sorry and that I deserved better. She was right, I did. The months after were brutal. I felt lonely, replayed every memory, and doubted everything. I questioned whether anything had been real, her words, her love, our intimacy. I wrestled with self-doubt, wondering if I was inadequate. But therapy helped me see it clearly. Her betrayal wasn't about me. It was about her selfishness, dishonesty, and inability to end our relationship before pursuing someone else. Through mutual friends, I heard that her relationship with Marcus fizzled after a few months. She even tried reaching out to me, but I blocked her everywhere. I didn't want closure. I didn't want friendship. I wanted her gone. It's been 6 months now. I still have tough days, but overall, I'm grateful. Grateful I found out before the wedding. Grateful I didn't waste years of my life on someone who could lie to my face daily. Grateful I learned what betrayal feels like, because now I know what real trust should feel like too. Looking back, the warning signs were there. The secrecy with her phone, the sudden change in intimacy, the excuses I brushed off. I told myself it was wedding stress, but deep down, something felt wrong. And here's what I've learned. Trust your gut. When things feel off, pay attention. I also learned how some people can compartmentalize in ways that seem unthinkable. Victoria could plan our wedding by day, then meet her lover by night. She could kiss me goodnight, sincerely after spending hours with him. I could never imagine living such a double life, which is why I never suspected it. But the most important lesson I've taken away is about self-worth. Her betrayal was never about me not being enough. It was about her choices, her lack of honesty, her weakness, her selfishness. Cheating isn't a reflection of the betrayed partner's shortcomings. It's a reflection of the betrayer's character. And as painful as it was, I'm thankful it happened before marriage, before children, before things got even more complicated. A broken engagement is nothing compared to a divorce or a custody battle. If you're in Victoria's position, living a double life, cheating while planning a future, stop. End the affair or end the relationship. But don't drag someone through deception. They don't deserve it. And if you're in my shoes, if something feels off, if your instincts are screaming that something isn't right, trust yourself. You deserve honesty. And if you do discover betrayal, remember this. It's not your fault. It's not about what you lacked. It's about their choices. You'll survive. You'll heal. You'll love again. And one day, you'll find someone who chooses you every single day, not just when it's convenient.